STS. If you have children, you probably have heard of kinetic sand. It is one of the hottest trends at the moment. And it's expensive. This little tiny box is $19.95. But it's addictive and fun to play with, and your kids can make all kinds of shapes. It sticks together so you don't get as much all over the place. But still, you don't want to lose even a grain of this if you can help it. So I decided that we would make a bit of an indoor sandbox today. I know I've written before about doing an indoor sandbox just in a large Rubbermaid tub, and that's totally fine. But I thought there are so many other applications. Legos, robotic toys. As your children age, what you can keep in this table will change. And I just think it would be a great addition to a playroom. I specifically kept it small because I don't want to take up too much floor space. The playroom that this one's going into is basically a spare bedroom. It's not a true bonus room. And I know a lot of you dwell in the city or apartments and you don't have a ton of room. So this could actually be like a coffee table. You could keep things, magazines in this, whatever, and then just put your kids' things in it when you want them to play in it too. This is the small lac coffee table. You can get it in a number of sizes, but I specifically went for the small one. And I'll tell you the truth. This is how I came up with this idea. I was walking through the as-is department and saw this drawer. I thought, oh, that would be perfect for a sand table because you could put that on top of something. I wonder if there are any tables here that are inexpensive enough that with this being $20, I could build a table and put them together for less than $52. So I literally took this drawer up to the table department and set it down on a bunch of tables. And it turned out that it worked well on this small lac. Now this is part of the complement series. I'll go ahead and put a link to what this drawer actually is. But the nice thing about IKEA is you can buy just a drawer, just a shelf for something, and repurpose it for something else. So if you had to pay retail for this, it would be $40. So, just keep your eye open for a drawer of any color, any style. Even if you can't find a drawer, if you just use probably 3/4 inch by 6-inch wood around the top and attach it right here, and then paint it to match your table, you'll get the same idea. This was just simpler. And sometimes these projects just need to be simple. I know I overcomplicate things sometimes. So here's what we're going to do. So highly technical. We're going to take this drawer that was already built in the as-is department. I spent about 15 minutes putting this coffee table together before we started filming. And I am going to use a construction adhesive. This is my new favorite best friend, Loctite Power Grab. And I'm actually going to make piles of it in the corner so it has a little height so it'll grab onto the bottom of the drawer. Because I don't want to screw through it. I don't want to nail through it. I don't want to have anything sharp in a container that is meant for little hands to scrape through. I don't want anybody to cut anything. Now the only thing I have to do in order to make this drawer work is if you look at the back side, this is unfinished. So obviously if you use the wood and go around the table, you're not going to have that problem. And it has white screw covers. Now you can go to IKEA and ask for the black screw covers, but for our purposes, I'm just going to paint it black. The other thing I had to do is over there you're going to see a little tiny white drawer stop. It's what you put into when you're building the drawer to keep it from coming all the way out. And I just popped this one out with a pair of pliers, and I'll do the same thing over there. If you were building this from scratch, you just wouldn't put them in. Then MDF takes a lot of paint. It absorbs a lot, it's porous, it has holes. So I'm actually using a stenciling brush, which has a blunt tip. And I'm just going to dab. I'm going ahead and just using black. This is a brown black at IKEA. I could mix it to exactly that color, but it is such a dark color, this brown black, that by the time I do this, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So you can see it just kind of disappears as you do that. So I'm going to do the same thing on the screw heads covers, the white little circles you see, and all the way along the edges. Once I've done that, now this is why I need the little piles of adhesive, because there's a little lip here. So you want to make sure that you have good contact between the two pieces. Here's the moment of truth, because, you know, how well is it? You're going to want to center it. Obviously, once you have your adhesive. Now, if you're using this as a coffee table, or even if you're using this in a playroom, even though you've made the back side look a lot better, face it to the wall, face it to the sofa, face it to, you know, away from when you walk in the room. Then, because this is so expensive, I would recommend that you still keep it in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't lose any of its connectivity. It comes in a bag. Transfer it into a nice heavy-duty freezer bag. And then if you like, you can put it directly in here, but I would do sort of the bag within a bag. I would go ahead and put a larger Rubbermaid. Don't use a tiny one. You could even use a larger one than this. So it's big enough for them to play in. They can move it around, but then this tray is going to catch anything that falls out, so you can just go around and collect it and put it back in the bag when you're done and put this away. If your children are older and they can have access to this and you don't need to supervise it, the nice thing about this table is it has a shelf under it, and you can just slide this under and keep it under, or you could keep Legos underneath. Only keep things under there, obviously, that you don't care if they get to and use without you. This would also be a great thing for a rainy day. Fill it with pasta noodles or rice or beans. Just have fun. Give them some measuring cups and some funnels and let them have a good time. So I hope you enjoy and have a fun time on a rainy afternoon with your indoor sand table. Thanks for watching.